evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Wednesday night. Hello out there to everybody on YouTube and on iRacing Live. I'm Dustin Caldwell. Appreciate you tuning in this Wednesday night. And if you're taking a look out there on your screen, you can definitely see we have got a lot of fog here in Rockingham. It's going to be 125 laps of pure modified race action and some madness thrown in the mix tonight. The Modified Madness Tour is back in action. The Championship Racing Association League takes their tour here to Rockingham. We are going to have all that information and more coming up right after the playing of our national anthem. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Wednesday night as the Modified Madness Tour takes on the rock. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 125 laps of pure modified open-wheel short track race action comes at you here tonight from Rockingham Speedway. Race information up there on your screen. This is a 1-mile track, so the big boys, the Tour Modifieds that you see out here tonight, will have the advantage down the backstretch known as Thunder Alley. They'll be swimming through those SK or light modifieds that you'll see out there on the track, running a little bit less horsepower, but there is some strategy in play between these two classes of cars. A little bit of fog, as you can see behind the information there, but we do have 77 degrees in the air. 100% humidity, some overcast, and about 82 degrees down there on the pavement. And if I haven't said so already, folks, my name is Dustin Caldwell, and I appreciate you tuning in here to catch this great race action. This has been a wonderful series taking place. It's the Championship Racing Association League, putting on a great event. Kyle Barnes behind the helm of the race control booth, directing these drivers to put on a great show, keeping everybody in line. And I tell you what, it's going to be some great racing taking place here this evening. Talking about the point standings coming into tonight, Garrett Strakota still leads the Tour Modifieds with Clint Crowell, as they say. Marshall's his actual official name, but Clint Crowell not too far behind him. Picked up a position last time in the last race, and it looks like Christian Peterson is on the rise. Has the most victories in the series so far, but it was the fatal mistake at USA by taking tires that has got him currently in third in points. Zach Mecca and Seth DeMerchant round out your top five in the Tour Modifieds, but as we take a look back at the lights, Jody Green, Benny Ellison been battling hard up there around the top spots, but Jody Green currently has it just by about 11 points over Benny Ellison. Scott Naslin, Jason Freeman, Zach Knowles are your top five in your modified lights. Looking at about 2 minutes, close to about 2 minutes remaining under qualifying session. Drivers meeting going on right now. Let's take a look at the results so far, and it looks like Christian Peterson up there up front. 147 miles an hour, folks. And I tell you what, that is a fast speed in these modifieds. Currently has the pole position for the Tours. And right there, as you see in what we're showing as 10th position, is actually the first position for the lights, and that's the 13 of Jody Green. Set a time on the track, 26.636 at 131. So even though there's different horsepower between the two, running a 2-barrel carb on the lights, 4-barrel carb on the Tours, you can see there's not very much difference in speed. It's just that back stretch and the front stretch that are going to be the deciding factor. But in the turns, you expect to see those light modifieds hanging with those Tours. If you want to know information about what we got, folks, as far as Digital Forge Broadcasting, you can find us on the web at forgebroadcasting.com. On Facebook, you can like us there. Just look up Digital Forge Broadcasting Network on Facebook. And if you want to know more about Championship Racing Association, you can find them on the link to this video on YouTube or on the web at championshipracingassociation.com. Just got under 1 minute now. Looks about 50 seconds remaining before we move to the gridding session. We'll have that opening grid for you momentarily as we talk about our schedule coming up next week. These guys are going to move out of Rockingham, and they're going to go. I pull up my schedule here for you. Martinsville, so they'll go to the Paperclip half-mile track next week, followed by Stafford and Five Flags. So Five Flags will be the next big track that they go visit. Coming up, that will be on August 17th. So August 3rd, August 10th are going to be some good short track racing. Today is August 3rd. So August 10th, August 17th. There's going to be some really good short track racing coming up, and then on the 24th, August 24th, Five Flags will be in action. So it looks like qualifying session has come to a close. We're going to be set to move to the grid here. We'll get you that action momentarily as the drivers will make their way from pit road out to the actual track. So this is what your grid is going to look like here tonight. Starting on the pole, the number 23 of Christian Peterson in that Tour Modified class. He is going to be out there with the fast time tonight. Christian Peterson, if I take a look here, runs that 6-man Inc. Peterson Irrigation sponsors on his car. He'll have Joe Nathan to the outside of that first row, and looking back in third position, the number 35 of Seth DeMerchant will be starting to that inside lane. Robbie Bunden will be starting to the outside. We got Wade Cheetah back there in 5th. Don LeBayer back in 6th. Zach Mecca, Tom Hameka. Wow, that really puts a blank on the names there. But rounding out the Tour Modified class there in the 5th row, Thomas Conheady will be starting to the inside. And to the outside, you'll see Jody Green there. That is the first. He's got the pole position in the lights. We'll be starting to the outside of that Tour Modified in the number 71 of Thomas Conheady. Looking on back, Benny Ellison, Scott Naslin will be side by side. Tanner Cook, John Clements, Nathan Hurlbert, Alan Wild, Zach Knowles, Kyle Barnes may be showing up here tonight, and Kevin the Crash Hash will be shotgun on the field. Again, folks, we've got 125 laps coming at you. As we take you down to the field here, looks like the pace car is about ready to go. Color scheme being worked on too. One thing to point out tonight that you're going to see on these cars, with the exception of Nathan out there, one thing you'll notice out here, folks, the blue numbers, if you can't quite decide what is a Tour Modified, what's a light modified, take a look at the numbers on the cars. The blue numbers is going to signify that is a Tour Modified. Now, the drivers do have a T by their name in the ticker that you're going to see once we get under green. And the light modifieds have an L by their name. So that is the T and the L drivers. But the blue numbers signifies that is a Tour Modified. The red numbers is a light modified. A couple guys here didn't get the memo on that, but that's all right. As you can see, we are down Thunder Alley towards the backstretch. Pace car will be set to go into the pits, this time by and a lot of fog out here today. Pace cars into the pits. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, underway the Modified Madness Tour. Green flag is out. Look at the battle up front with Christian Peterson as they are continuing the battle. As they make their way down the backstretch, what a battle we have got for you folks. Look at that into turn one, the high side. Christian Peterson working his way around Joe Nathan. Are really working at it here at Rockingham. Wade Cheetah back there in 3rd position. Let's jump back to the lights as Tanner Cook currently leads the lights around the track, that number 96 machine. Right behind him though, Jody Green is on his bumper. Into the front stretch, across that start-finish line, into lap number 4. Back in 3rd position, Nathan the Wrecking Ball Hurlbert in the number 28 machine as he makes his way around the track. Of course, Tanner Cook running the Randy's Tire Shop. Cook Motorsports sponsors on his car. And Hurlbert has Insane Motorsports, Race Car Help, Performance Unlimited. Hurlbert Irrigation, Wrecking and Demo. little bit of different trade, and here comes Jody Green to the inside, side by side with Tanner Cook, as they make their way out of turn number 2, down Thunder Alley, and some contact right there in the lower groove into turn number 3. Take a look at the 55. That is John Clements trying to be an aggressor right there behind the 28 of Hurlburt, trying to get around him, and it looks like now Jody Green's going to go to the lead and up to the high side. Looks like Tanner Cook is going to fall back to 4th position. Let's jump back up to the Tour Modifieds as Christian Peterson comes across the start-finish line into lap number 7. He has Wade Cheetah now behind him. Zach Necka back there in 3rd, making his way into the turn. New York driver here tonight started 7th. He's already up to 3rd, working his way down that front stretch into lap number 7. Don LeBayer back there in 4th position. You can see he started 6th. He's up 2 positions now. It's becoming a single-file grudge match here for the Tour Modifieds. Jump back, look at the side-by-side action in these lights as Nathan Hurlburt has taken over the race lead for the lights, and he has Tanner Cook, that 96 machine, on his bumper into the turn. A little bit of apron there for the 28 of Hurlburt. These guys are battling hard into the front stretch, and it looks like, wow, even down below the yellow line goes Tanner Cook, and he's going to try to push that 28 machine off the track in turns 1 and 2. Out of the second turn, down Thunder Alley. Here they come towards turn number 3. And it looks like that 96 of Tanner Cook battling hard with Hurlburt, trying to maintain some grip. That 55 of Clements, not too far behind him. Somebody's definitely got to get on the mic and let Tanner Cook know going across that yellow line is not going to help him. Clements now to the bumper of Hurlburt as they come down the back stretch. Zach Knowles, that 99 machine, back there in 4th when that he was painting and decorating far out. And CK Design sponsors on that car. Beautiful battle here. Comes to a single file line as they head into lap number 11. And it looks like now, looseness. Oh, he's going to go around. Finally, the apron gets him. Oh, wow. Car's getting overturned. That looks like the 13 of Jody Green is going to go on the roof. And we got a major pile up, ladies and gentlemen, right here out of turn number 2. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Following Nathan Hurlburt. Hurlburt has been down there as well as Tanner Cook. They've been both working that apron. And eventually the apron, the looseness of it took its toll. So following the number 28 machine, the Illinois driver, Nathan Hurlburt, into turn number 1. Down to the bottom, watch him touch the apron. He's just going to get loose right up there. He's going to go for a spin. Wow, did Jody Green really get the brunt of that? Ends up on his roof. And for a guy that's leading the series in points for the light modifieds, that is treacherous, to say the least, for his night here this evening. So it looks like Christian Peterson still ahead in the Tour Modified division. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you. This is the Modified Madness Tour here at Rockingham. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
So I'm Dan Garrison, engineer at iRacing. I've been working on dynamic track and wanted to take the lab coat off to kind of give an update on what I've been doing to enhance things on the asphalt side, what we're kind of calling the dynamic track version 2. When we started looking at dirt and the interaction between the tire and the track, kind of pointed us to some things we could improve on the asphalt side as well. We were able to kind of rework the calculations that account for heat transferring generally in the direction from the tire to the track. The track will cool a little bit faster when cars are not on it, but more significantly, cars running on the track are going to impart more energy into it, bringing the temperature up and changing the racing experience so that you do have to be wary of the track getting hot and reducing your grip. I've been rethinking some of the calculations that determine kind of how the rubber is torn, whether it's how much is torn from the tire, how much is torn from a rubbered-in track. I've made some changes so that rolling tire will pick up more rubber. We also looked at the thickness of the rubber under the contact patch and realized we can make improvements to the model there. As a result, we're able to make the tire respond a little bit more to how much rubber is there. We're able to influence how fast the track rubbers in areas where the tires are working hard. So I'm excited about these changes that we're making. The temperature in the track is going to be a lot more dynamic. It's going to mean you're going to have to dive around looking for the cool parts of the track. I think it's going to make the different lines come in and change the racing experience, and I'm really kind of excited to see how this is going to change things following the September build when it comes out.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Modified Madness Tour here at Rockingham this Wednesday night. As the cars make their way out of the fourth turn, pace car set to go into the pits. This time by, there it goes. Here they come to the front stretch. And the green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap number 17. These heavy fog conditions here today are making it tough for the viewers out there in the grandstands to watch, as Christian Peterson may have had some trouble viewing down the backstretch as he made contact with that wall. Zach Mecca now up to second position in the Tour Modifieds as they cross the start-finish line into lap number 18. Wade Cheetah back there in third position, looking to take Mecca to the inside. As they go through turns 1 and 2, Zach Mecca, the holy man himself, will go to the front of the pack. And Wade Cheetah now looks to the inside. Maybe some damage there on the 23 machine of Christian Peterson, as he did make contact with the wall the last time around. Tanner Cook, still your race leader in the light division, as he crosses the start and finish line into lap number 19. This was your pole sitter here tonight. The Virginia driver had a fast lap time, 26.411. Currently behind him, the 55 of John Clements. And we have gotten word, folks, unfortunately, Jody Green, who ended up on his roof, has now bowed out of the race tonight. That is huge for the points, as he is the series points leader for the light modifieds. Back to the tours as we take a look into turn number 3. Zach Mecca, Wade Cheetah battling hard through that fourth turn into the front stretch. Wade Cheetah and that MaxFire.com modified making his way into turn number 1, a little bit higher than the 42 of Zach Mecca. Peterson still holding on to third position here as he works his way down the backstretch towards turn number 3. This New England driver had a great season so far. Has a total of 3 victories in the series. Right behind him, newcomer to the series, the 71 of Thomas Conheady. You'll find this guy normally driving with the Anarchy Motorsports Series. Decided to hang up the stock car helmet, put on a modified, get some open wheel action, and currently is in 4th position right there behind Christian Peterson. As they head into turn number 1, he has to check up. He's running that extreme high groove. Diving down in turn number 3, side by side with Christian Peterson, and around he goes, the 71 of Thomas Conheady. Tanner Cook back in the light, still trying to hang on to the lead with that Rockstar Energy car. Right behind him, the 55 of Clements on the bumper, looking to the inside of the front stretch. Here we come into lap number 25. Zach Knowles to the high side. Clements is going to make contact with the apron. That's going to slow him up just a little bit. Zach Knowles, the 99 machine, now makes his way up towards the 55 of Clements. To the inside. Will he have enough to clear him? No! Down comes Cook to block Clements. So Tanner Cook doing what he can to hold on to that race lead, protecting that inside. That is the grip special here tonight. These drivers are trying to stay as close to that apron as possible. As you see there, Cook nearly crossing that yellow line. In the midst of all this, Wade Cheetah now has taken over the race lead, and in to the SKs they go, folks. The light modifieds as the Tour modifieds now cross over. Wade Cheetah takes over the lead as the 42 of Zach Mecca behind him. 0-1 of Benny Ellison being passed there by the Tour modifieds. Benny Ellison, another driver up there in the light modified division. Top 5 in points. Started second here tonight, currently sitting in 4th position. Wade Cheetah makes his way out of turn number 2, down Thunder Alley with Zach Mecca, on his bumper into turn number 3. Just about a car length gap separating the two. Heading towards lap number 29, this time by. Joe Nathan, one of the drivers who started up front, he started in 2nd position here tonight, currently running 5th. Had some issues early on. Will now look to pass Benny Ellison to the inside down the backstretch. Robbie Bunden, another Tour modified driver that's been struggling a little bit these last couple races. Michigan driver tonight started 4th, currently running 6th position. And a surprise move here, folks. Take a look at this. You've been following this series. Seth the Merchant has been on fire the last couple of races. Last chance we had a chat with him, he said he was worried about Rockingham, not one of his better tracks. He loves these small tracks, or the less than 1 mile tracks, I should say. But when you get up to the big 1 mile tracks, he struggles a little bit. And tonight it's showing, as he started 3rd during qualifying, but during the race he's sitting 7th position currently. And it looks like Tanner Cook still leads the light modified division as he comes into the backstretch. Has pulled away a little bit from the 55 of John Clements. Zach Knowles, though, is on closer. Little apron contact there for the 99. Both drivers, Clements and Knowles, made some contact with that apron through turns 3 and 4. Kevin Hash out there by his lonesome heading into turn number 3. Looked really solid at Irwindale. Fortunately got involved in an incident there. Even looked really good in the Corvette pace car that they had there for a special event. As we now see Christian Peterson make his way around. Scott Naslund, the last of the light modifieds here at Rockingham. One of the drivers, and again, folks, tough break there for Alan Wild and Jody Green, as well as Nathan Hurlburt. Those three drivers in the light division had some great side-by-side race action in the first 10 laps. But it was on lap number 11, contact with Hurlburt. Getting loose out of turn number 2. That caused the chain reaction, which ended up putting Jody Green, the driver of the number 13 light modified, on his roof. Which, again, can't say enough, is really huge for these other drivers to have an opportunity to pick up points in that division. Taking a look now into turns number 2. Zach Knowles really looking to get around John Clements. Will look to the inside of turn number 3, not going to make a move as Clements dives down for that apron to protect that inside. Zach Mecca is able to get back around Wade Cheetah now. Wade Cheetah back in third position right there behind the 71 of Thomas Conheady. Conheady runs the high line through 3 and 4. Into the front stretch, it looks like Christian Peterson is finding some momentum. Side by side with Wade Cheetah into turn number 1. And that 23 machine back into the top 3 here on lap number 38. Had some contact with the wall right about this point where you see the word The Rock. And now Christian Peterson looks to dig towards that 71 through turn number 4. Looks to the high side of Conheady. Down the front stretch towards turn number 1 into lap number 39. Looks for some grip down low. Will he be able to get around that 71 machine? Down Thunder Alley he comes. Thomas Conheady can feel the pressure of the 23 of Peterson. Peterson to the low groove. Conheady holds the mid. Out of turn number 4 yet again. Now Peterson looks to the high groove to pick up some grip up high. Conheady baits. And down goes Peterson into turn number 1. Looks to be side by side coming out of turn number 2. And will not have enough this time around. So Peterson really digging on these tires. After having that contact, worked his way back up. And as you can see now, Thomas Conheady has approached closer and closer to the 42 of Zach Mecca. Into lap 41 they go. Conheady will look to the high side. Oh, he's going to get a little bit loose. And that's an opportunity for the 23 of Christian Peterson to take him on the inside. So Conheady got a little bit loose, running the high line into turn number 1, and now Wade Cheetah looks to take away third position from him. Peterson looks to dig towards that race lead yet again as he approaches closer and closer to the 42 of Zach Mecca. At 42 of Zach Mecca, just ahead of him, running the Jim Beam and Mountain Dew sponsors. And Peterson to the inside, out of turn number 4. Really putting the pressure on Mecca. Peterson has found a move, looks to the inside, dives it down side by side, and Christian Peterson takes over the race lead in lap 43. Falling far back is 4th position. The 23 car has regained the race lead. But Mecca will not go away easily or quietly, so keep an eye out. Here we go into turn number 1. Can Zach Mecca reclaim that race lead in 44? Oh, a lot of lap traffic ahead. Here they go, folks. They are swimming through some SKs now. Into turn number 3. Here is the challenge of the modified. This is where the madness kicks in. 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. 4 if you count the apron. And Christian Peterson has to navigate his way. Oh, it is a cluster into turn number 1. Knowles and Cook to the inside of Peterson. Peterson able to get around him. What's Zach Mecca going to do? He's caught up in the mix. Oh, Christian Peterson caught a big break through that pack of light modifieds. Zach Knowles able to take over the race lead in the light modifieds, though. As now Zach Mecca is able to get away. Thomas Conheady and Wade Cheetah looking to do the same. Zach Knowles now has the lead for the light modifieds into Thunder Alley. Right behind him, the 96 of Tanner Cook. Looking to regain it here as we take a look at Cook's information. Total of 37 laps led here for the 96. He's looking to get him back now as he looks to the inside of the 99. Going to go push to the high side. Here comes John Clements back in third position. What a madness of a battle it is here at Rockingham. These drivers are working hard, especially you've seen from the tours, to be able to get around the lights. Zach Knowles now 2 laps led of the race. Looks to pick up lap number 3, but Tanner Cook is going to put that pressure on him. Oh, he pushes down to the apron to avoid contact. And Zach Knowles will have his 3rd lap led here, heading into lap number 48. Talking about a guy leading the laps, folks. 20 laps led here for the 23 of Christian Peterson. What a solid lead he has. As a couple laps ago in the backstretch, was able to get around on the high side, those light modifieds. Zach Mecca taking a look, 2.3 seconds behind Peterson. Will have some digging to do. He don't even have him in his front. Let's actually go on board here with Zach Mecca. Our camera just giving us a little bit of heck tonight, but let's hop on board here. You can see the banking. And as we hop on board, we're going to have a caution flag actually come out. Reel back our replay cam, see if we can capture that action as it unfolds. Searching the field here to see exactly what may have happened. Not able to capture it, folks. We do have 2 cars down on the pit road. Looks like Christian Peterson's going to go in. Let's see if he decides to take tires here. Not seeing the jack stands come up. It looks like it's just going to be some fuel for the 23. Given his history with taking tires. And that's one of the things to mention, folks. There is a league rule that these guys are not allowed to take tires under certain laps. Oh, and it looks like, oh, wow. Right behind him, missing his pit box. Looks like Christian Peterson is getting some fuel. He's going to come back off of pit road. Wade Cheetah, though, however, will go over to the race lead, staying out here into lap number 52. They do have a league rule. Some races they will allow tires. Typically in these 125 lap races, they will not allow tires. That's why you didn't see the tires of the jack stands come up for the 23 of Christian Peterson. Receiving some information here from race control. So 9 tires are going to be allowed this race. If you end up taking them, though, they will allow a competition caution on lap number 95. Kind of got bejarbled messages there from race control. Do apologize on that one. So as the pace car takes him around into lap number 53, lights are going to come off. They're going to begin bunching themselves back up. Wade Cheetah will be leading the field back to green on lap number 54. So I think race control was just trying to say this was a competition caution here about the halfway point of the race. So the only drivers out currently, Jody Green, Alan Wild, Nathan Hurlburt, after the lap 11 incident. Here we go, though. Zach Knowles is leading the light modifies back there, the 99 purple and blue machine. Pace cars into the pits. Here they come. Green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap 54. And it looks like Seth DeMerch is going to challenge Wade Cheetah, makes a little bit of contact there in the backstretch. DeMerch looking to the high side now of Cheetah as they come out of turn number 4 into the front stretch. Joe Nathan back there in third as Robbie Bundon in fourth. Zach Mecca and Christian Peterson split Robbie Bundon down the backstretch. Went down pit road, got some fuel, so Christian Peterson up to fourth, now battling hard with Conheady. Conheady was called Mecca, do apologize on that, but it is the 71 of Thomas Conheady. Going to run that mid-high groove through turns 1 and 2 here on lap 56. And now Zach Mecca to the inside of Robbie Bundon. That will put Bundon back in 7th position. Zach Knowles in the lights coming out of turn number 4, heading towards lap number 58. Has Clements behind him and Tanner Cook as well. And we've got another caution flag out in the air, folks. Looks like Thomas Conheady is going to go for a spin around turn number 2. And Conheady's going to be driving hard behind the 23 of Peterson. See what happens here. Just going to snap loose, and when he does, going to lose control. Locks up the brakes there, heading up towards that safer barrier. Does he make contact? Looks like he's going to get on the throttle and save contact there. Drift down the lane. The rear end's going to come around. Let's see the 42 of Mecca able to get by. And the 71 of Thomas Conheady is going to go for a spin, and that's going to bring out the third caution flag of the night. There is your race summary. 58 laps completed, 8 lead changes between the tours, 3 total cautions. So the Modified Madness Tour bringing some great race action here at Rockingham. We're under the yellow flag. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Rockingham this Wednesday night for the Modified Madness Tour. Back under the green just around the halfway point of tonight's race, lap number 63, and it's the number 35 of Seth the Merchant, holding on to the race lead in the Tours. Right behind him, the 23 of Christian Peterson on the move. Zach Mecca back there in third. As we jump back to the lights, still a good battle here with Tanner Cook and John Clements into the backstretch towards turn number 3. A little bit of issues with the 99 on Zach Knowles' machine. Currently sitting back in 4th position behind the 01 of Benny Ellison. He's looking to dig on the 01 now. Benny Ellison just ahead of him. And to the inside of turns 1 and 2 goes the 99 as Zach Knowles to take over 3rd position away from the 01 of Benny Ellison. Tanner Cook and John Clements still going at it into the front stretch towards lap 67. Back up to the Tour Modified, Seth the Merchant. What a battle with Christian Peterson. Here they go through turn number 4. Christian Peterson looks to the inside, and he's going to take over the race lead in lap number 67. Peterson around DeMerchant in the backstretch, extending his lead to just over, looks to be about 3 car lengths through turn number 3. Wade Cheetah and Zach Mecca battling side by side. Cheetah is going to move into 3rd position as the 42 of Zach Mecca will look to the inside for turn number 3. Willie will take the move. Cheetah dives down in 3, blocking that inside. Mecca has nowhere to go. Tanner Cook works his way into the 3rd turn with the 55 of John Clements just behind him. Low to mid-groove now as these tires are starting to lose some grip. A little more conservative driving, and now the 55 of John Clements looks to get around that 96 of Tanner Cook. Looks to the inside, down the backstretch. Is he going to make a move in turn number 3? Who will get down first? It is the 96 of Tanner Cook. Clements runs the middle groove. Now to the low, into the front stretch. Falling off the pace just a little bit. The fog here today, folks, is amazing. Take a look at the backstretch. Just see how foggy it is here at Rockingham. Back up to the tours. Still a good battle as they approach. Some light modifieds into turns 1 and 2. Here goes Christian Peterson. 0.134 the gap with Seth DeMerchant behind him. DeMerchant's going to look to the inside. Down goes a 23. Oh, he's going to push in 3 and 4. That door's wide open for DeMerchant. DeMerchant will not make the move yet. Some light modifieds ahead as Cook and Clements down to the low side of Peterson and DeMerchant. Peterson around to the high side. DeMerchant follows suit. Keep in mind, folks, as you see the Tour Modifieds pass the lights, these guys do not have to give way. There is no league rule that says the light modifieds have to allow the Tour Modifieds by. We saw a good bout of that earlier in the backstretch when Christian Peterson had to get around them. And now Wade Cheetah, oh, Clements down to the apron. Wade Cheetah to the high side of Cook. Cook's going to make Cheetah work for it. And Cheetah goes sliding around as Joe Nathan to the high side of Tanner Cook. Here comes Zach Mecca to the high side of Cook. Cook has a nice 4-second lead over the 55 of Clements. Clements last time around made contact with the apron just as you saw there. Got a little bit loose, and that opened up a big gap between him and the 96 of Tanner Cook. Into the front stretch towards lap number 76. Seth DeMerchant's able to get around, but here comes Christian Peterson to the inside. Peterson wants to take back that race lead. Between the two drivers, take a look at that. 30 laps led for the 23 machine. 11 laps led for DeMerchant in the 35 machine. Peterson looks to the high side. They are battling hard. Oh, and a little bit of light modified action down to the low side between the two. Ruffled the feathers, but they are going to come back together. And Peterson looks to the inside of DeMerchant. These two have found themselves battling for the race lead on a few different occasions, and tonight only adds to the drama. Talking about the last race, Seth DeMerchant was able to come away with victory. Has moved up 4 positions into that top 5, just 2 positions behind Christian Peterson. So you can see why these guys are racing as hard as they are, as a victory here is going to help either one of them propel themselves up towards the race lead, as Strakota did not make an appearance, as well as Clint Crow. With those 2 drivers out, these 2 drivers have an opportunity to gain closer and closer to the series points lead in the Tour Modifieds. John Clements now regaining some of the gap that he had lost to Tanner Cook. As you can see, Clements right there behind Cook. Just about 0.315 seconds behind Cook. Zach Mecca making his way around the 0-1 of Benny Ellison. Will start to approach more of the light modified guys in the backstretch. And it looks like the 14 of Tom Hameka out there working some laps down in the lower groove. Now, I'm being told on lap number 95 there is going to be a competition caution coming out. Optional fuel is there if the drivers so choose to need it. And a nice side-by-side battle between Peterson and DeMerchant into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like Christian Peterson's going to come away with the race lead here on lap number 84. DeMerchant up to 19 total laps led. Behind the 23, who's up to 31, looking for his 32nd. And wow, Seth DeMerchant. I'm not sure that move was legal. Solid yellow line goes down to the apron to pick up some time there, and he's going to be able to get around Christian Peterson in the backstretch before turn number 3. And DeMerchant just ahead. Clements down to the low side. Tanner Cook as well. Kevin Hash, one of the light modified drivers in between the race leaders. Tanner Cook still leading the light modifieds, but look at the battle just ahead. Peterson to the inside of DeMerchant out of turn number 4. Looks to take back over the race lead on lap number 87. Out of turn number 2, the 23 of Christian Peterson. In the 6-man Inc. Peterson irrigation sponsored car pushes high into turn number 4. Right behind him, DeMerchant. 35 was Seth DeMerchant in that PS Designs machine. 20 total laps led for DeMerchant, 34 for Peterson. Zach Mecca actually has 13 laps led. Joe Nathan 1 laps led there. 19 for Wade Cheetah, who's not actually too far behind, just about 2.4 seconds behind Seth DeMerchant. And looks to be closing that gap. Still a good battle for the race lead here in the Tour Modifieds. Benny, oh, and look at that! Seth DeMerchant using that apron yet again to get around Benny Ellison. And right there, folks, is a good testament to what I was talking about earlier with the light modifieds not having to give way to the Tour Modifieds. It's the Tour Modified job to be able to get around the light modifieds. And in doing so, Seth DeMerchant chose the apron to get around Benny Ellison out of turn number 4. So a half a second gap between Peterson and DeMerchant, but DeMerchant is coming on strong. John Clements back there still behind Tanner Cook as they work their way into the backstretch. John Clements, one of the newer drivers to the league. Zach Knoll still running in 3rd position. About 4, almost 5 seconds behind the race leader. That is the 96 of Tanner Cook. And we have a question out in the YouTube chat. What is up with the fog? The reason you are seeing the fog here at Rockingham, folks, that is the dynamic weather system that is being used, that is chosen for the league races. Oh, and some high push from Seth DeMerchant, or Christian Peterson, excuse me. That allows Seth DeMerchant to catch up just to the bumper of Christian Peterson into turns 1 and 2 here on lap number 95. This is where we're going to see a competition caution come out if the drivers so need fuel. Race control now talking to the drivers to see if anybody needs fuel. If somebody needs fuel, they will throw out the yellow flag. Not seeing that come out, so all the drivers should be good to go for the remainder of the race. Zach Knowles to the inside of the Tour Modified leaders, as now Christian Peterson into turn number 3, just ahead of the 35 of Seth the Merchant. It has been a battle and a brawl between these two drivers tonight. As these laps wind down closer, Christian Peterson really working that lower groove. And here comes the yellow flag. So the competition, it looks like, see Kevin Hash down there on the apron. He didn't get loose. So this is the competition caution coming out, and he's going to go for a spin to the inside. So this is, in fact, folks, a competition caution coming out, allowing the drivers to get in and get fuel. It's going to re-bunch up the field, keep the competition close. Part of the madness to the Modified Madness Tour is these competition cautions. Doesn't allow a driver to get too completely far ahead of the rest of the field. And as we see now, the 23 of Christian Peterson, 6th man Inc. Peterson Irrigation sponsors on that car, comes down pit road with the 35 of Seth the Merchant behind him. Wade Cheetah will go to the helm of the field for the Tour Modifieds. Things just got interesting here in Rockingham. No tire changes, folks, taking place here for this 125 lap event. If you're just tuning in, only allowed fuel. With that being said, we're going to move to a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action in the conclusion to this race here at Rockingham, folks. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Welcome back to Rockingham this Wednesday night into lap number 101. We'll be back under the green on 102 as the lights come off the pace car as it takes them into turns 1 and 2. Up front, it's going to be the 89 of Joe Nathan leading the Tour Modifieds back to the green, as Wade Cheetah will be to the outside in that number 12 machine. Back in the light modifieds, Tanner Cook still hangs on to the race lead. Very close battle with the 55 of John Clements, who is going to come away with the victory there, as the series points leader Jody Green was taken out on lap number 11 in a terrible accident out of turn number 2. Pace car now into the fourth turn, set to go into the pits this time by Joe Nathan to set that pace for the field. Here we go. Pace car into the pits. Into the front stretch. Flagman gives a signal. The green flag's in the air. We are back to the race. Keep an eye on that third row right there between DeMerchant and Peterson. They have been leading the most here tonight. Out of turn number 2, they look to split the field. Zach Mecca in the way of Seth DeMerchant. Wade Cheetah blocks. Here we go into turns 3 and 4. A little bit of wiggle there from the 35 of DeMerchant. Into lap number 103 for the Touring Modifieds. Joe Nathan at the lead. And it looks like the Holy Man Mecca to the inside is going to get loose. He's going to go down to the apron. And a big incident in turn number 2 for the second time tonight. This time it captures the Tour Modified class, and you can see the bent frame there on Wade Cheetah's machine. Robbie Bunden's got some heavy smoke coming out of the back of his car. We'll have to go back and take a look at the replay on this and see exactly what happened. Looks like it's going to start with the 42 of Zach Mecca. This guy's getting really close to that apron. Right about there, right about here, you're going to see Zach Mecca get loose, go down to the apron, as well as Wade Cheetah up to the high side. So Wade Cheetah is going to make some contact with DeMerchant, bounce off of DeMerchant, go up into the safer barrier right in the front of Christian Peterson. Peterson looks like he's going to be able to escape with no damage, but the 14 car of Tom Hameka is going to send Wade Cheetah up into the air. Wade Cheetah's going to get on his roof. Some sparks fly there. You can see Robbie Bunden go for a spin, as it looks like Tanner Cook's going to be able to clear Hameka up to the high side. Wade Cheetah's going to end up with a bent frame down on his car. Zach Knowles, one of the drivers down there, that 99 purple and blue machine. Going to be able to get away there as well. See Wade Cheetah finally getting to his pit box. A lot of heavy damage on the front end of that car. Robbie Bunden as well. May not see a return out of these drivers. So into lap 105. Unfortunate events for these drivers, but it is the 89 of Joe Nathan who started to the outside of Peterson tonight. Is at the race lead with the 42 of Zach Mecca behind him. Tanner Cook still holding on to the race lead for the light modified division. The drama keeps unfolding here in Rockingham as the Rock, as they call it, the nickname for this track, the Rock, has claimed some more cars. Looks like Kevin Hash, the 03 machine, and the 15 of Scott Naslin, both in the lights, have called it quits. So it started pretty much tonight with about 12 light modifieds and only 4 remain in that division. Looks like Thomas Conheady, though, is back in second position. So Christian Peterson, leader of the most laps in this division tonight, 43 in total. Will be back in 5th position. We go back to the green. See, the lights have come off that pace car. We'll be back under the green on lap number 108. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Here we go. Pace car will be into the pits just out of the 4th turn. Joe Nathan, the 89 machine, to set that pace. Nathan, one of the newer drivers in the Tour Modified. Coming out of the 4th turn. Here we go. Pace car into the pits. Into the front stretch. Flagman gives a signal. The green flag's back in the air. Here we go. Lap 108. Conheady to the high side of Joe Nathan. Extreme high side. Pushes towards that wall. Hanging on to 2nd position. Just behind him, Zach Becca and Seth the Merchant battle it out. Tanner Cook right there behind Christian Peterson. Now the Tours start to break away from the lights. DeMerchant to the high side of Mecca. Across that start-finish line into lap number 109. Christian Peterson has nowhere to go. Has to be patient to follow that 35 machine. Looks to the low side, to the inside of DeMerchant. Oh, this could be pivotal here. Christian Peterson in 5th position. Looks to pick up 4th. This time by. He's going to get it. Right around DeMerchant, and now looks to the high side of Zach Mecca. To the inside, a crossover move across the start-finish line. Really have enough to take Thomas Conheady as well. He's going to do it in turns 1 and 2. Oh, Conheady gets loose, makes contact with DeMerchant, and the yellow flag comes out. But not before the 23 of Christian Peterson is going to get around, and he'll be starting to the outside of Joe Nathan when we go back to the green. Symptoms of not taking new tires, folks. Let's go back and take a look here on the 71 of Thomas Conheady. Been running that higher groove as the race progressed, as he's lost grip on his tires. As we go on board here with the 71 machine, you're going to see him get loose coming out of turn number 2. Banking taking its toll. And right there, the rear end comes around, contact with DeMerchant, and he's just going to go for a spin right there. And actually comes down on the track right in front of a driver. Looks like the 55 of John Clements. Oh, that's going to be pivotal as well. Making some contact with Clements. Clements actually down on pit road. Probably trying to get some repairs worked out there with his pit crew. The Merchant back down pit road now. Actually kind of caddy-cornered into his pit box. Has to pull up just a little bit. Maybe a little splash and go for the 35. See if we can get a driver interview for you folks. See if we can get that 89 of Joe Nathan on the line for you. Looking for the 89 of Joe Nathan. This is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Well, you find yourself up front tonight. Kind of newer to this league. Tell us, what is your thoughts on how this car has been working for you here at Rockingham?
I find that the trick is to make everyone think you're modified light. Save tires that way. You just got to be here at the end.
You say a trick to be in modified light. How do you go about doing that?
You just go slow in the corners, go as fast as they are. You know, just back it off as much as you can, wait for the cautions, and at the end of the race, make sure you're in front.
You'll have that powerhouse of Christian Peterson beside you when you go back to the green. Do you have any pressure there feeling from the 23, or you feel like you're pretty much good to maybe take victory here tonight?
I have no idea. It all depends who saved the tires best. And really, a lot of it comes down to who's more comfortable driving a sideways car. Even if you save tires, it's pretty loose in the one.
Has this fog been a factor for you tonight?
It's been a cool effect to have. I doesn't really make visibility that much difficult. You've got it's it's foggy, but it's not that bad.
All right. Any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give while we got you on the line?
No, not really anything right now. Just focused on the race.
All right. Well, best of luck to you in the remainder of the laps there, Joe. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
There you have it, folks. Driver interview with the 89 of Joe Nathan. As the lights have come off that pace car, dwindling down the field. A couple of turn 2 incidents have really put a dent in the race field here tonight. Looks like only about 6 drivers remain. Can Christian Peterson hold off Joe Nathan? Or can Joe Nathan hold off Christian Peterson? That's going to be the question. Here we go. Pace car set to go into the pits. There it goes. The green flag flies. We're back to the race. It'll be 10 laps to go the next time by. Joe Nathan to the low groove, holding on to the race lead, but here comes Christian Peterson. Zach Mecca and Seth DeMerchant battle side by side for third position. DeMerchant way up high in turns number 3. Peterson trying to find a groove to get around Nathan. 10 laps to go. And Nathan out of turn number 2. Looks to hold on to that lead. Peterson is not going to make it easy. Dives down in turn number 3. Nathan was ready for him there. As Peterson looks up to the high side out of turn number 4. 9 laps to go. Let's jump back to the lights as Tanner Cook and Zach Knowles are battling hard. Both down to the apron. That just tells you, folks, how bad these guys want to win here tonight. Knowing that the series points leader is out of this race, the points are up for grab. And Tanner Cook right now is trying to fend off that 99 of Zach Knowles. Using that apron yet again, Zach Knowles looks up to the high side of Tanner Cook. Peterson able to get around Nathan as well as DeMerchant. With 8 laps to go into turn number 4. Nathan looks to the inside of DeMerchant to take back that second position slot to the low side. Joe Nathan gets a little bit loose. Oh, he's going to dirt track it out of 2. Saves the car. Beautiful driving skills there from the 89 of Joe Nathan. DeMerchant looks to reel in now the 23 of Christian Peterson. With 6 laps to go, it's going to start to heat up here, folks. It is getting to be go time. Tanner Cook has about a car length gap between him and the 99 of Zach Knowles. Benny Ellison just about 10 car lengths behind him. With about 5 laps to go, these guys are going to be battling hard. 5 laps now remain. DeMerchant. Oh, and Nathan spins out. That may be all she wrote, or we may get a green-white checkered here, folks. It was 5 laps to go. Should be about 4 laps of pacing. Guy we talked to that took us back to the green, the 89 of Joe Nathan, spun out of turn number 2. We saw him dirt track it lap before. Go back and take a look. So as he works his way through that second turn, you can start to see the rear end come around on him. He's going to try to do what he did a lap before and dirt track it. See the wheels turn to the right. Trying to save it, but it's going to be too much this time. As when that car finally snaps for the grip, around to the left side goes the car, and the car is going to go for a spin right up in to the last part of that safer barrier. And he'll catch just probably a little bit of it outside of it. And that's going to bring out the last caution flag of the night. So heavy, heavy damage there on the 89 machine down on pit road. Will he be able to limp it out for just probably about one more lap? We'll have to see. Christian Peterson, though, however, was out ahead of Seth the Merchant at the time of the yellow flag. So we'll have to see if this is going to pan out to a one-lap shootout. That's going to be the question as we have 3 laps to go. Talking about some things in the Digital Forge lineup, folks. Monday nights, the Short Track National Showdown Series of Street Stocks have been putting on a great show. You can catch that on Monday nights. Tuesday nights are currently open as the Anarchy Motorsports Series has taken about a month off with their Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. They should be back in action at the end of August. Of course, we have this Modified Madness Tour on Wednesday nights. Thursday nights still have a negotiation with another league to bring you some more great short track racing. Friday nights, the Loose Lug Nuts League has some things in the works coming up on the 12th. So we'll start that in on the 17th. We're going to have a special event, a memorial event coming up. More to come on that as the weeks progress. We're talking about that and a great race in the charity event we like to do here. Hopefully we'll see the lights come off the pace car this time by as the white flag will come out. So that pretty much is going to end it. Lights will actually stay on the pace car. So unfortunately they were not able to get ahead enough, or be back enough I should say, to get that one lap shootout. Would love to have seen this thing end under the green, but unfortunately the 89 of Joe Nathan spinning out of turn number 2 is going to be enough to solidify the 23 of Christian Peterson taking victory here tonight. Total of 52 laps led. The guy behind him, 35 of the Merchant. Back there, we'll have 20 laps led. Zach Mecca, 13. Joe Nathan will have a total of 18 laps led. Wade Cheetah, who's going to finish in 5th position, had a total of 20 laps led. And Thomas Conheady, unfortunately, getting spun due to some low grip on those tires. He'll finish 6th with 1 lap led. Tanner Cook, back in the lights, will be taking victory there, just ahead of Zach Knowles. Benny Ellison in 3rd. John Clements rounds out 4th as the car's still running. And our camera decides to be silly with us again. With the 23, bittersweet victory here for Christian Peterson. Hard-fought night. Not an easy victory, to say the least. Zach Knowles tries to give a congratulatory bump there to Tanner Cook and ends up spinning him. Tanner Cook will make his way around. And again, folks, foggy day here at Rockingham. John Clements heading up there, and there you'll see Tanner Cook come for a little victory burnout here in the front stretch. Really no tire or grip left on those tires to be able to do it. Christian Peterson making his way out of the 4th turn down the front stretch will come down to do his victory burnout. So here's a look at what the results look like tonight, folks. You're going to see that Christian Peterson, Seth the Merchant, Zach Mecca will be your top 3 in the tours. Tanner Cook, Zach Knowles, Benny Ellison, your top 3 in the lights. We're going to see if we can get a driver interview now here with your light modified winner. So we look to go live now with the light modified winner. Driver of the number 96 machine had Rockstar on there. Also has Randy's Tire Shop, Cook Motorsports. Tanner Cook able to take victory here tonight. It was a very, very hard-fought battle. Been battling with Zach Knowles. You had a little bit of battle with Jody Green early on in the race. Fortunately, Green gets taken out in lap 11. But definitely a lot of these other drivers here tonight, you really find yourself battling hard in that light division. Tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely hard fought all night. I mean, we're out here holding it wide open, so there's not much skill to really put in this setup. You just hold it wide open and drive around like we're at Daytona. But Zach gave me a good fight. I tried not to block him, but we kind of had a little miscommunication, and he kind of got loose or whatever. But it sucks it had to end under caution like that. But I got to thank all the sponsors and Kyle and you guys for putting this on.
Definitely going forward, going to move up in the points, especially seeing that Jody Green was taken out. That opens the doorway up for a little bit of points gain for you there. Coming in tonight, looking about 14th back in points. Are you going to try to make a run for it?
Sure, why not? We'll try to finish up the season strong and do what we can after missing the first couple of races. That really put us behind, but we'll just try our best.
Next week we go into Martinsville. What can we expect out of your car?
We'll give her all she's got. Just got to see what happens next week. Don't know until you show up.
All right. Well, best of luck to you then, but congratulations for your win here at Rockingham. Definitely not coming easy. A good, hard-fought battle. Congratulations, Tanner.
Thanks, sir.
There you have it, folks. Driver of the number 96, Tanner Cook, Randy's Tire Shop, Cook Motorsports, and a little bit of Rockstar Energy sponsors on that car. Moving to the tour side, we're going to go to the third place finishers. The 42 machine of Zach Mecca comes in third place tonight. Jim Beam, Mountain Dew, the sponsors on that car. Tell us, Zach, it was a hard-fought battle here with these drivers. Trying to keep up with Peterson and DeMerchant. You finding yourself swimming through some light modifieds at times. How'd the car handle for you tonight in this foggy Rockingham?
Well, it really handled well for us tonight. I think my team, Aftermath Autosports, really got me hooked up tonight with a brand new car after that Lucas Oil crash and the Irwindale crash. So went out there, had a really fast car, led some laps, was proud of. Thought we had a good win at the end, just pushed the car low too much, and I couldn't keep up the speed with the other guys.
How did turn 2 seem to handle? A lot of drivers looked like they were getting really loose. We saw the 89 of Joe Nathan get loose a couple laps, and unfortunately the second time got too loose. It brought out the last caution of the night. Did you have any experiences there in that second turn, or did you seem to work okay for you?
Well, turn 1 and 2 was really my strongest turn. I think 3 and 4 was my little hard turn, but the only time I really got loose in turn 1 and 2 is when I was pushing for the lead with Joe, and I pushed a little too hard and spun it there, and a lot of people got involved with that. But otherwise than that, we had a great run through 1 and 2. That was definitely our strong turn tonight.
All right, is there any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your third place finish here?
Just our sponsors and my team, Aftermath Autosports, and that's really it. Great hosting, and I'll be back at Stafford in 2 weeks.
All right, look forward to seeing you then, and congratulations to your third place finish tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to look to move on now to second place finisher, driver of the number 35 machine, Seth DeMerchant. As Seth DeMerchant joins us here. Seth DeMerchant drives that PS Designs machine, driver of the number 35, coming in second position. Had some great battling there with Christian Peterson, led a total of 20 laps here tonight at Rockingham. Tell us, looks like your car was on fire, and even saw you use the apron a couple of times. Tell us a little bit about that.
Just the draft, the way the draft was so strong, we were able to get huge runs and try to carry him by on the straightaway. So I used it a couple times there to get by a couple cars for position, and then the lap cars that were a little slower, the SKs.
Well, they call the backstretch Thunder Alley tonight, and a lot of thunder roaring down there, both with the classes of the Tour and the Lights. Found yourselves battling with Christian Peterson, got caught up in a big pack of light modifieds. Had to navigate your way through it a couple of different times. Tell us, what was the challenge like trying to get around the light modifieds, knowing that these guys don't have to give way to the Tour modifieds?
It was pretty easy. Most of them would just stay low for you, but some of them, I think there was one time I almost ran into one guy. I wasn't sure what he was doing, but I messed up there. But it was pretty easy to pass him, because the top worked really nice with the setup that we had. So we could just drive around him on the top, and the speed difference was so huge that as soon as we got by him, we could just cut because the car had so much grip. So it was very easy to get by them unless they were like too wide. But still, you're going so much faster that you could just go third lane above them and clear them before you even get to corner exit.
Well, talking about the one staying low, that was Benny Ellison out of turn number 4, where you must anticipated him to ride up the contour of the track towards the wall. Unfortunately, he stayed low, and you went to the extreme low. You actually went down on the apron to get around him. Did that seem to be an easy feat, or you looked like you handled it really well, or did you kind of have a tense moment there?
A little tense. Had to use the brakes. I was anticipating him to stay above the yellow line, and I had a huge run off of 4 on Christian, and I was going to try to dive under the lap car and try to get to CP's inside before the turn, and I think it would have worked out, but I didn't realize he was going to go to the apron too, trying to get out of my way. So a little scary, but we made it through.
All right. Well, is there any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish here at Rockingham?
Just P-Money Designs for painting the cars, and Kyle for admin.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week at the battle at Martinsville.
Thank you.
Going on now to the winner of the Tour Modifieds here tonight. Driver of the number 23, Christian Peterson, joins us. And taking a look at the sponsors on Peterson's car, the 6-man Inc. Peterson irrigation machine finds itself to victory lane here at Rockingham. And it very, very hard-fought battle. Just talking with Seth the Merchant there, Christian. Total of 53 laps led for your car here tonight. Early on in the race, we saw you make contact with the wall in the backstretch. Tell us what it was a little bit like to battle back from that. Was there any noticeable damage that affected your driving of the car, or how did you seem to rally back from that contact?
I had radio issues with the TeamSpeak, so I was trying to get that sorted out on that restart there, and just clipped the wall a little bit. There was no damage. It didn't knock the toe out or anything. It might have, scraped the Nerf bar, but that really didn't give me any damage. When I went into the pits the next time, there was nothing to fix. So just trying to get back up, track position. I think a bunch of guys ended up taking themselves out this race. So it was kind of just staying and avoiding those things and keeping yourself clean.
Well, definitely a foggy element to tonight's race. Have you ever had to drive into this amount of fog before?
Yeah, on the way back from Pocono the other day, actually, but
never raced in this kind of fog, though, right?
Never raced in this kind of fog. No, it was a different experience. I've done it on the game before, but not so much in a competitive and more serious environment. Just a little practice sessions. It was fun. It was it made for tires wore out at the end, and you could almost feel like the humidity in the track. It was just kind of like sliding around, but there was that slip angle to where it was it wasn't too much. You could kind of just like keep it there.
Well, next week we move into Martinsville as you continue to make your run towards the lead in the series points. Victory tonight definitely helping the cause. What can we expect from the 23 car there at that paperclip half mile?
Martinsville is one of my favorite tracks, especially in this car. We got these 15-inch tires, 650 horsepower or something, so hard on the brakes, roll center, get back on the gas, and hopefully she sticks.
All right. Well, is there any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory tonight?
Just everybody at 6-man, Kyle Barnes doing everything he does at CRA. It's a fun series. I enjoy running this series a lot. It's one of the better modified series, I think, out here on iRacing. And you, Dustin, at Digital Forge, for putting it on YouTube.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week taking on Martinsville at your at your said favorite track, and congratulations tonight for a dominant performance here at Rockingham.
All right, thanks.
Well, folks, what a night of racing. We're going to be joined now with the man behind the booth, Race Control. Get some final thoughts here from the lovely Mr. Kyle Barnes. We're pretty much getting to the halfway point of the season, and these drivers are showing more and more competition, driving really harder, making some aggressive moves. Saw a lot of great racing, especially the mixture of the lights and tours here in the backstretch. A couple of times in turn two, we had some major accidents, unfortunately, taking some of the guys out tonight. Overall, I think it was a great night of racing. What's your thoughts on tonight's race here at Rockingham, Kyle?
I completely agree with you, Dustin. It was definitely a fun night of racing. There was a lot of give and take out there, and if something did happen on the raceway, everybody was really apologetic about it, which is something you don't see a lot of times on iRacing, so it was great to see it in here tonight. Everybody worked together, and it was a fantastic night of racing, as you said. We did have a couple incidents that took out a big portion of both the modified light and tour modified divisions. Both divisions kind of had their own big ones, you could say, that took a lot of competitive guys out. But overall, it still made for an exciting race there at the end.
Well, we talk about tonight and these guys and their setups being able to flat foot, keep the car and the engine wide open, drive it around the track. Like they said, I believe one of the drivers mentioned like being at Daytona, pretty much this big 1 mile track for these guys. Next week, we go into a very thin, also known as the Paperclip Martinsville, this half-mile track with very narrow turns and narrow straightaways. Having two classes of cars going there, looks like it'll be pretty even, but what are your thoughts on what we're going to see next week?
It's going to be very, very interesting considering the modified lights tonight were able to hold it wide open, and the Tour modifiers could just go around on the high side. That was one thing, but to go next week and to go to a flat track like Martinsville, half-mile Paperclip, all these Tour modifieds are going to want to be on the bottom, but whenever they catch the modified lights, they're going to have to go around the top side. That could open the door for somebody, with some guts to try and make it 3 wide going down into the corner, and you could definitely see some tempers flare, but you could also see some fantastic racing. So really excited to head there next week. I know a lot of the drivers are, and we'll see what happens.
Especially had some drama unfolding tonight. Points battle is going to get closer and closer as the season progresses. Kyle, thank you much for your time here in the booth, and we can't wait to see this Modified Madness continue next week into Martinsville.
Thank you, Dustin. We're really excited about the rest of the season, and hopefully it goes well. Dustin, I did want to add, though, that Joe Nathan, he's actually requested that he wants to get his thoughts out there about that last incident that happened on the Speedway.
All right, well, we'll look to bring him in. Appreciate your time there, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, well, we have a special request from the 89 of Joe Nathan. Wanted to get an interview, so we will grant him that opportunity to come up here in the booth. Had a chance to talk to you during Under the Caution there, Joe, and looked like you dirt tracked it. Had an excellent save there on the one lap, but the next time around there in turn number 2, rear end kind of got around on you, snapped a little bit on you, unfortunately brought you out a little bit loose. What's your final thoughts on tonight's race?
I waited 122 laps to run out of talent. That's not a good feeling. The car was pretty stable, and then as soon as I started pushing, it wasn't stable anymore.
Tough break there late in the race. Definitely, working your way through. You had a good, hard-fought battle with some of these drivers, especially coming into this series pretty new. You started second position and worked. What's your takeaway from some of these drivers in their racecraft?
Just kind of learning what you can do with the car and how to save it. That's, I think, what's really important. The tires, obviously, a lot tore in there. And just, how these guys are racing throughout the race, how they saved, and how they finished the race, and I didn't.
Well, next week we go into Martinsville, a little bit less of a track, actually half of the track distance down to a half mile, a little bit more of a narrow track. What can we expect there from the 89 machine?
I don't know. I guess you'd expect the same thing, kind of patience early on. You don't have anywhere to go, especially there's a lot of traffic early on. There's no hurry, but when you get to like the late part of the race, you get people in your way, then you might see some dicey moves. I don't know. I'm not really like over aggressive or anything, but you know, when you're racing hard, you see some good action. Not afraid to make something or try something to make it work.
Definitely will need to have that kind of nerve at that narrow track next week. Finishing fourth here tonight, making a good statement. Is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give?
No, not same thing as last time. I guess Manuel wants me to give him a shout out, so there you go. So he's a cool dude.
All right, well, congratulations to your fourth place finish. Though it came on a treacherous fashion and out of turn number 2 with about 5 to go, but you do end up solidifying a fourth position slot. Will help a little bit on the points. We look forward to seeing you next week at Martinsville.
All right, thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. A good night of racing here at the Spocky Rockingham track. Big, like I said, Pocono this past week was major with the fog, and got to see it here tonight at Rockingham. But it is Christian Peterson, the number 23 machine, 6-man Inc., Peterson Irrigation, taking victory for the Tour class with Seth the Merchant right behind him, Zach Mecca and Joe Nathan rounding out the top 4. Looks like Wade Cheetah will round out the top 5 in the Tours. Tanner Cook takes victory. Pivotal night there for the 96 machine. Zach Knowles as well. Benny Ellison and Thomas Conheady actually finishes 6th. He doesn't have the T by his name, but he's in the Tour class. John Clements rounding out the top 5 there in the light modifieds. Robbie Pundin, Kevin Hash, Scott Naslin, Tom Hameka, Don LeBayer, Jody Green, Alan Wild, Nathan Hurlbert, all having a troubled night here at Rockingham. As mentioned before, folks, next week coming up next Wednesday night, set your clocks, 9:15. We will be back with the Modified Madness Tour and the Championship Racing Association League taking on Martinsville. That's going to be one race you definitely don't want to miss. Friday night, Thursday, Friday night this week will be open. We may have something coming up. Always check us out on the web at forgebroadcasting.com. But that is going to do it for us, folks. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in out there on YouTube, and hello out there to iRacing Live. We'll see you next Wednesday night. But as for us and here at the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, have a great night.